We're joined now by Jacob Rees-Mogg, or at least I hope we are. Yes, Mr. Rees-Mogg. I don't know where you are. Are you in Somerset or are you in Bristol? Are you in Taunton? Where are you?
I'm in Somerset. I'm in Bath. No, I'm in Bath. I'm in Bath University.
Ah, I see. Right, good. Well, and you held your seat?
I have, yes.
Good. And tell us about your view of what's happened. Was the Prime Minister guilty of hubris by running for this election when she said she wasn't going to, and is the result a disaster for the Conservative Party?
No, I think neither of those things is true. I think an election was going to be inevitable, both as a result of the Brexit vote a year ago and of having a new Prime Minister, that a new Prime Minister required a mandate ultimately, and it was merely a question of time. As for the Conservative Party, we seem to be starting out today where we finished before the last Parliament was dissolved. So there isn't much change, but there's some rotation. And I think that will probably mean that we continue to form the government. So it's not a disaster, but it's not as good as it could have been. It's
quite strange to say you're back where you were before this election, when you did have a majority of 17 before the election. You now don't have a majority, it seems.
Well, we haven't had all the seats in yet, but it's not an enormous change. It's within the margin of error at the moment.
She said she wanted to guarantee certainty and stability for the years ahead. Does this guarantee certainty and stability for more than a couple of months, perhaps?
Well, the British people have decided on the Parliament that they want, and that's their right to do so, and to be governed according to their democratic will. And the certainty and security of the British Constitution is, I think, very great over many hundreds of years, and indeed the certainty and security of the BBC reporting of it. I congratulate you on your 10th successive edition of election night. You may have an 11th in October to come, but time will tell.
What do you think, leaving that aside for a moment, what do you think the Prime Minister should do about the Brexit negotiations which are due to start, as we know, in 11 days' time? Can it be pursued as though nothing had happened?
Well, the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister and is the person who will pursue these negotiations. The very straightforward fact is that we leave the European Union at the end of March 2019, and the negotiations are a prelude to that, but they're not necessary for that. We leave at the end of March 2019 whether we've had any negotiations or not. That is now a part of both our law and of the European treaties.
Do you think there'll be opposition in the parliamentary party now? Some people, obviously, I mean, maybe not you, because you're a loyal supporter of the Prime Minister, but there will be people in the Conservative Party who feel this was a terrible error to have this election, and that it's done the party terrible damage, and that she really should take the blame for it, because it was her decision, as we know, walking on the hills of Wales, that led you to where you are tonight.
But I think the thing to remember is that George Osborne is no longer a member of the Parliamentary Party. He stood down from his seat in Tatton, and though he may throw rocks from the Evening Standard, he's not in the House of Commons to cause trouble there.
Why do you mention George Osborne in particular? I mean, there are many others in the Tory party. Well, you're smiling slightly. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I'm smiling because you've already reported his comments earlier this evening, and he seemed to want to stir it up a bit. I think Mrs May will have a good deal of support. She's only been the leader for under a year. She got it without any opposition, an uncontested election with support up and down the country. I don't think the Conservative Party is so fickle or such a fair-weather friend as it would not continue to back the Prime Minister.
There appears to be somebody dismantling the set behind you, Mr Rees-Mogg. And I don't want you to suffer the humiliation of being alone in the open air in some God-forsaken part of Bath.
I think that the day thou gavest, Lord, is ended, is pretty much the case here.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you. Good night.